Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel Made with Love. My name is Heather and today I am going to be making some reusable makeup wipes. I bought a couple of these packs from a liquidation place in town. So I got these ones here. It was a pack of 4. So I got the one here. I just had to take them out to see how big they were because they don't seem to have the measurements on the actual package. But these ones here was a pack of 4 for $2. And they've got more of that rubbery kind of that other texture. Like it is still microfiber, but it's not the soft cloth one. It's this other one. It's good for polishing. And then I do have this other pack I got, which was the pack of 3. It was $1.50, and these are, of course, the more microfiber cloth, but these ones, of course, are the actual. They feel more like a towel. So I was just measuring because I have my little container here from the bathroom. I just want to know how big each of these compartments are. So I just did a quick measurement here. I did measure and I just can't remember what it was. Oops. So I'm keeping the Q-tips, that's okay, but these ones here I want to replace the little cotton balls and little cotton pads. So it looks like it's just under 3 that way and about 3.5. So that one here is 3 by 3.5. I thought this one's a little smaller. Yeah, see, the inside one is a little smaller. It's the same width, but it's a little bit smaller. So I'm going to keep that one as Q-tips. And see, is this the same? 3 by 3.5. Yeah, so they're about that 3 by 3.5 are the two that I'm going to be working with. So I'm just taking my cloths here, and I'm just going to kind of figure out how many pieces I was going to cut them into. So I'm just going to fold it in half. Fold it in half again, so I'm just folding lengthwise, and then I just have to, using this crease, I'm just folding it to here, and I'm just going to fold this one into here like that. So then that is how many I will be making. So in this one I will be getting like 16, and then doing this one because it's a little bit smaller, again I'm just folding it half the lengthwise and then half lengthwise again. But instead of doing this one in quarters, I'm going to do this one in about thirds. So I will get about 12 pieces that size, and I'll get like the 16 that size. So they're pretty close. Like my plan was I was going to stitch these together and have a double-sided cloth, and then I'm like, that is just so much more work. Not with this. I'd like to do that with another cloth, but I thought, no, maybe today I'm just going to cut these up, and then I'm not quite sure if the ends will fray, so then I will have to go, so I do want to go and stitch around every cut edge. Now some of them will have this nice decorative scalloped edge. I would love to be able to do that on all sides, but I don't have any pinking shears. I do, well actually no, I do, I just don't know where they are at the moment. So I'm just going to be cutting these just straight out with just the regular scissors. Scissors just don't want to work, and I just don't know where all my other scissors are at the moment. I thought I had set my goods pair aside, and I just was looking for it and I just cannot find it, and this is just not working for me today. There we go. Like that. Fold it in half this way. I like to fold it and then I just cut where the folds are, and I'm not worried if it's not perfectly even. These are just like for my personal use. I just think it's such a waste to to use the to purchase little cotton balls, like especially nail polish remover, or just a little bit of I don't wear a lot of makeup all the time, so just a little bit of makeup to take off, just to not use a reusable cloth just seems like kind of such a waste. And I used to have a whole bunch of these, but I have no idea where all my reusable cloths are. And I thought, well, I went to the store, I was going to buy myself some makeup removing cloths, and I saw the price. I'm like, why don't I just make my own? I said, this is not the best. I gotta find my other scissors. Then all my cutting will be so much neater. There we go. So that one is done. So I'm just gonna do that to all these because I got like 7 claws to cut out. So I'm just gonna continue cutting out the 7 claws and then I will be back for the next step. All right, so I have all the pieces are now cut out. Oops. I did take 2 pieces. I did make it double-sided. I just want to see if it would, how easy it would be to work with. I would just leave them like this and just kind of stitch around so the little edges don't fray anymore. But I'm like, I've got all the pieces cut. Why not just take the regular microfiber cloth and the other microfiber cloth and just put them together right side to right side and just stitch around, leaving a small opening, and then flip them, you know, right side out. And so I did make one. It's a little crooked, but it's the first one I made, so just have to make sure I get my seams a little bit straighter. And then where my did leave the little opening right here, so I have a little trouble with that. That's one of the tricky things is I didn't leave my opening big enough and I didn't quite have it centered. So it was a little bit off centered however I was stitching. So when I went to do the top stitching to enclose this, it's kind of a little funny right there. But you know, I just made it. It's taken me like, it's like 2 minutes to make this. If I were just to cut it, the 2 pieces out, stitch, flip right sides and then do the top stitching. So like 2 minutes to make one of these little cleaning claws. So I'm just going to continue to do the rest of these. It's going to be so easy now that I know, you know, think it's going to be fairly easy to go through. Now I can just do each little step at a time. So now I'm just going to take all my claws here and I'm just going to pin them all. So I got to figure out which is the right side of the material. So I've got, it's kind of flat here. This is where all the cloth is all, and all the fibers on the cloth are kind of coming up. So this would be the top of the cloth. This one, it's got a really shiny side and then more of a dull side. So the shiny side is what I'm going to use for the cleaning. So I want to put the shiny side to the other side of this one. Oops. Just kind of line these up. And then I'm just going to take my straight pin and I'm just going to pin these together. So that's the next step I'm just going to be doing right now. I'm just going to be pinning them all together. Just put the right sides together. And then I will also be trimming off the extra material. I'll grab my pin cushion. Just going to pin all these together. Just, I don't know how long it's going to take. And I will have more of one than the other. So that is okay. As I said, I can just make some other just regular little single-sided facial claws as well, or makeup remover claws as well. But I just thought, I saw this on Pinterest and I thought, oh, that's such a good idea. Maybe I could just make my own little ones. So, like I said, I'm not sure this is going to take a while to pin all these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yeah, so I got 12 of the 3 colors. So I've got green, the pink, and the purple, and then it'll be these blue ones. It will not have a cloth at the moment. So I'll just have a stack of these blue ones here, these other microfiber, just more shinier ones that won't have a cloth at the moment, but I'm pretty sure I do have like some face cloths. So I think I'm going to try that with just cutting up a face cloth and making some more of these. Because if it was some of these microfiber, like these ones here that didn't have a mate, I would leave them. But these ones here, I don't think I like the way that this feels, just unless I made them like half the size. I don't know, maybe I'll do that. Maybe I'll just make a couple of these blue ones just half the size. I don't know, because it starts with this and then I end up with just something this small. So to turn this like half the size, I don't know if that will be big enough for cleaning, you know, anything. Maybe nail polish remover. Maybe I'll make myself some little blue ones. I don't know. I'll get to the blue ones when I get to them, but I'm just going to finish with the green, the pink, and the purple. So when I get all these pinned together, I will be back and I will start stitching them all together. Okay, so I've got these ones pinned, and then I ended up having a stack. I don't know where there's the purple ones. I ended up having some of these left over because I cut these ones were bigger, so I cut them into more pieces. So I actually have enough for the blue ones. So I'm going to have some that will be the blue with the pink, purple, and green. And then I was thinking, do I want to switch some of these up? And I said, no, I don't want to unpin them. So I will actually be able to get all these made into these double-sided claws. I will be pinning these ones in a moment. But next thing is after I had them pinned, even though, you know, like they were cut, I was trying to find the right sizes that fit the best. Some of these pieces, they're just too much material on just the one side. So I'm just kind of trimming off some of the extra material, just straightening out some of these sides so they're a little bit straighter, easier to work with. Especially this, the scalloped edge. If I can just trim a little bit of the scalloped edge off to make it a little bit straighter. So this is all I'm doing, is just kind of trimming so there's less bulk for when I go to turn these, you know, right side, because I'm stitching them kind of like making little pocket things. Oops. Just did not work. I really need to find my other scissors. They're probably here in the craft room. I have not had a chance to get to picking up my craft room. I've got all my supplies that I was going to be making for all my seasonal, like the fall and Christmas crafts. They're all in these bags and boxes sitting around my craft room. So the chances that I put my scissors in one of those bags or boxes, high possibility. So I will be doing that soon. I do have a rotary cutter, a cheap one I bought from the dollar store. I find it doesn't really work with material. I find the rotary cutter works good with paper. Or if I had a better, maybe if I had a better surface to use the rotary cutter on. I don't even know where my glass cutting mat is. I'm not even sure where any of my cutting mats are at the moment. So I'm just going to trim all these sides a little bit. Just like I said, I was doing my best to find the right ones to line up so I wouldn't have as much cutting, but like I said, I just kind of cutting this material just quickly. But I'm going to have lots of nice little cleaning claws now for facial or for when I do my manicures and pedicures, you know, removing the nail polish remover. So that would be nice. I've always wanted these nice cleaning claws. I've got a really nice one that I use, I've got two nice ones that I use for when I'm washing my face. And they're actually, well, one is microfiber and one is bamboo. And I found the one bamboo one time at the dollar store, and I have not been able to find any other bamboo cleaning claws or anything, but I find that I like the way the bamboo one worked so much better than just the microfiber. They feel the same, they look the same, but when you're actually using it, you can feel the difference. It's just so much softer. There, so I'm just going to continue trimming these. And then I will be back. I just got so many to trim, and then I got 12 more to pin. So as soon as I get these trimmed and those other ones pinned and trimmed, I will be back and ready to sew. Alright, so I've got them all pinned, ready to stitch. So I'm going to leave a gap in the one side. So I'm going to start maybe about a third of the way up, and I'm just going to do some back stitching there, go down and around, and then on this one same thing, just come down to about a third and then back stitch. And so I'm leaving an opening here so I can flip them in right side. So I'm just going to line this up. I just got to figure out where this is. I just got to move this a little closer to me so I can see. Right now I've got my tension set to 3. I turn my machine on and I don't touch this stuff. I'm just doing the basic straight stitch that just, when I turn my machine on, what it says is what it is. I'm not even going to the fastest that it can be on. I've got it set between, I've got a slow, medium, fast. I got it set kind of between the medium and the fast, only because I'm dealing with such a small section before I have to turn. I did find if I had it up a little bit faster, I did do a couple more. Just want to, you know, make sure I get the right size of opening that I needed. So I did stitch a couple. So you can see, so I do have an opening here. It's about a thumb width because I wanted this one here. I didn't leave myself a big enough space to open, and then I had to kind of cut into the stitches and open a little bit more. So because this one I only left myself like a pinky space to get in there, but it wasn't enough. So now I'm leaving myself a thumb space so I can get in here to rotate it right side. Just leaving the pins in for now because I just trying to do this, seeing how fast I can get these gone, you know, stitched up. So I've got my whole pile of ones I got to stitch sitting right here. I'm just gonna move stuff out of my way. I'm just gonna move my scissors, don't need them. Move my glasses because I will drop them on the floor. So I've got my pile of, oops, I don't know, in the view. So I got my pile of my ready to sew right here. So I'm just gonna do this quickly, show you what I do. So I just make first couple stitches, do a little back stitching, and then I go right to where the corner is. And I just learned this. So I leave the needle in the down position so it's in the material, lift this foot up, and then just pivot or rotate the material, put the foot back down, and then you're able just to continue to stitch. And I will say, in the last few projects I have been making, this has made such a huge improvement in how much faster I can get some of my sewing done. The third solid one. Now I'm coming back to my first row, which I had done. So I'm just going to stitch in a few stitches and then back stitch. And I've got about a thumb space so I can flip them the right side. So I'm just going to continue doing this to all of these. I don't remember how many I'm making. I had counted and then I lost count. But it's important right at the opening and last one, because that's where you're going to be pulling all the material through, that I am actually doing my back stitching on those two spots. And every once in a while this does get caught. Machine does not always like microfiber type cloths, or if they just kind of bunch up sometimes. So it's not going to take me long to do this, although this one, for some reason, I didn't seem to have any stitches when I did the back stitching. It wasn't, the thread wasn't coming out. What happened? Okay. There we go. Oops. I don't know what happened. The thread snapped, I guess, doing that last row of stitching. I knew something was wrong, because it kind of got caught there. So I'm just going to go back to this little bit on this other row and just come back around that corner once more. I don't know what happened. It just suddenly I had no thread from the bobbin. didn't want to stitch. Oops. Okay, that corner is going to be a little funny. That's okay. I'm just making sure I've got it all stitched. And these ones, these are these cheap microfiber claws. They do fray, but that's okay because it's not going to all be on the inside, and I will just trim those right before I flip it. Now I just want to double check this one. Maybe I'll just do this one quickly. Snip off all these extra loose threads here. Just turn this one right side so I can see. Again, it's a little tricky getting it started, but once you get it, material pushed in, and then I think I have something I can use, a little pencil or something, or chopstick, crocheting hook, something just to kind of help push it outward. You can use your fingers, which does work. Now these are going to be really tiny little cleaning cloths. These are not like for like washing your whole face. These are more for like spot treatment thing, nail polish remover, you know, just that type of thing. But there we go. You just make these cute little makeup sponges, little cleaning cloth things. So I'm just gonna tuck that in like that, and then just gotta fix this corner. It's still bunched in, but then I will be doing the top stitching around the whole side here. When I do that, then this will all be enclosed. I mean, I guess you could also just use a little bit of glue right there if you didn't want to do any more stitching, like fabric glue, I guess. So that looks okay. I mean, it's not perfect. I didn't cut these out perfectly square. I tried to. Even when I had a couple of claws on top of each other, they were not perfectly. Every cloth was a different size. So I'm just going to continue stitching up these ones, and then I will be flipping them all the right side, but I'll be back when I'm ready to do this next step on all of these. But because this one was having trouble with the thread, I thought, no, I might as well just stop for a second and get it right side to make sure I don't have to restitch the whole thing. But it looks good. So I'm just going to set that aside because it's mostly done. So I guess I'm just going to continue stitching the rest of this pile, and then I will be back for the next couple steps. Okay, so welcome back. I've got all these, I've got them flipped right side out. I've got them pinned where I've kept the little opening. So I'm just going to start stitching. So I'm just going to start in the one corner, just going to do a nice straight basic stitch on the outside of all these, like a top stitch. I'm actually going to stitch on the more satiny stuff up, and the little bit more fibrous, like rougher one, like feels like more like a face cloth on the bottom, just because I did two. I was just testing them out, and I found with my foot pedal, when I had the shinier side actually down, it was pulling it underneath. So I did this one. Which one was which? Yeah, this one here. I had this purple one, the shinier side down, and this material just kept getting snagged on in here. I don't know, around by the needle, whatever. So I found having this more face cloth kind of thing down, it was just easier to go through. It's also easier to see where I'm stitching on this versus this. I just can see a little bit clearer. So I'm just got a whole pile here. So I've got them all done. There's a few I'm gonna have to kind of fix because I find there's a couple that I didn't quite have all the corners pulled up, but I can kind of fix that as I'm stitching to make them a little more square looking. They're not gonna be perfectly rectangle, that's okay. I'm just learning how to sew, so some of my corners are not perfectly straight, some of my edges are a little crooked, but that's okay. I mean, these are just for my own personal use. And then I do want to make some bigger ones. So I'll go back to the store and I'll buy some more, and I'll make some larger ones. It'll probably be a lot easier to do now that I've made some. So I'm just gonna continue to sew. I'm just gonna find one that's a little bit easier to sew because I just pulled the pin out of that one. So I'm just going to line it up. And again, I just turned my machine on. It's on a 00, and then the positions thing, it just says 2.5, and then it's the stitch thing, it's just 0.0. So it's just a, sorry, I don't know what happened. My camera just turned off and I was talking and I don't know where I was ended, but I'm just in my position. I've got the stitch position, it just says 2.5. And the stitch size or whatever is just 0.0. So I just turn my machine on and I'm just using the most basic stitch. So I'm just going to quickly just stitch straight down. And then when I hit the edge, I'm just lifting up the foot, turning, and just going to go straight down. Hit the corner, lift up, and then put the fresher foot back down and just do another straight stitch. And last row. And a little bit of back stitching. And there we go. That is done. That's all there is to in making these. I'm just going to snip the extra strings off in a second, but there we go. So I'm just going to continue to stitch all of these, my whole big pile I've got here. So I'll be back when I get them all done, and then I will have them all organized, and I'll show you how they look and how many I've made, because I've lost count how many I've made. So I'll be back as soon as I get all these sewn together. Right, so I've got all these made. So I had 3 microfiber cloths, the cloth ones in the color pink, green, and purple. And then I had the other microfiber cloth in a more of the rubbery kind, and I had them in purple, pink, green, and the blue. So I made 3 colors of the pink, the pink on both sides, green on both sides, and purple on both sides. And then I had the blue one I was able to cut, and so the blue was cut so then to have blue on one side and then one of each of the other colors on the other side. So I end up with a total of 48, and they fit perfectly in my little thing here. I'm just doing this so I can kind of, see color coordinated, and it fits this little container here. It fits perfectly. So now I'm going to show you how well they work, just because I'm curious. I haven't tested them out yet. So I'm just going to grab one. I'm just going to get it a little wet, and I'm just going to use my facial cleanser and just do this to see how well it works. Oops. It's a little smaller than the cloth I'm used to. That's okay. I'll say, yeah, that worked good. That got makeup off my face. Then I'm going to use another dry one, and I'm going to try the facial toner. I'm just going to grab my other cloth here just to dry my face a little bit. There. Just so I can tell if it's really working. So then I'm going to use the more rubbery side kind of microfiber with the facial toner if my container wants to work. So I got the product on there. I'm going to say, yeah, it's going to work. Now, I will say while I'm doing this, I do realize I'm going to have to go and put like an X on there. That's what I was going to do. I totally forgot, because while I'm doing this, the 2 pieces of material are sliding and kind of bunching up. But that's how you'll figure things out. So now I'm going to have to go and do another couple stitches on. I don't know if I'd have to do 2 full stitches. I don't know. But just something, because the way it's kind of, you know, while I'm actually using it, I can tell that it does need, or if I fold it in half, then I won't have to worry about that. But trying to keep it just the full side, I will need to do that. And then one more test. I will grab this one with the nail polish remover, because this was, I really wanted to see if it would work with the facial cleanser and then of course the nail polish remover. Hey, sorry, my phone is just cutting out on me today. It just does not want to record. I don't know why it's not working properly. I think it needs to be charged. So I'm going to try with just some nail polish remover. And I actually have my nails painted because I was at church today, so let's see. Oh, it worked really good. Got the nail polish off. My nail is clean. I said this one worked good. It got my makeup off. It's hard to tell because I'm not wearing any eye makeup. And then same with the little facial toner. I do notice it was tingly and everything, so they do work. So that's what I was curious if they worked. So now I'm gonna continue taking my nail polish off in a little bit. But, just want to say thank you so much to everybody who's subscribing to my channels and watching my videos, and I'll see you all in the next ones. Bye.